Introduction to the periodic table. So we see the periodic table here. And there are a few regions on here that we're going to talk about more in depth. So the vertical columns of the periodic table are called groups or families. Each group contains elements with similar chemical properties. So if we look back here, our groups go up and down, right? Vertical. So the horizontal rows of elements in the periodic table are called periods. Physical and chemical properties change somewhat regularly across a period. So once again, let's go back here, and we can see, right, horizontal rows. These are periods. So there's types of elements on the periodic table. The first type is a metal. And a metal is an element that is a good electrical conductor and a good heat conductor. Some properties of metals: most are solid at room temperature. They're malleable. That means they can be hammered or rolled into thin sheets. They're ductile, which means they can be drawn into a fine wire, and they conduct electricity and heat well. So we see here on this periodic table, the metals are in red. And we're going to color code our own periodic table momentarily. So nonmetals. Nonmetal is an element that is a poor conductor of heat and electricity. And some properties of nonmetals: many are gases, they're brittle, and they're poor conductors of heat and electricity. And to piggyback off our metals, just some examples. We have gold, copper, and aluminum, and then some examples of nonmetals: carbon, sulfur, phosphorus, and iodine. So we look here, our nonmetals are in green. And our metalloids: a metalloid is an element that has some characteristics of metals and some characteristics of nonmetals. Some properties of metalloids: all metalloids are solids at room temperature, and they're semiconductors of electricity. And noble gases are elements in group 18 of the periodic table, or you'll hear me say a lot, group 8A. And then in Roman numerals, that'll be VIII. A. Noble gases: they're generally unreactive, and they're gases at room temperature. So, looking at this periodic table, we see our metalloids are in orange and our noble gases are in purple. So what we're going to do now is we're going to color code our own periodic table. Okay, so there's directions above that I'll show you that you have access to on Blackboard, that you're going to do this at home. So the first direction says we're going to color the metals blue. And I'm obviously not going to color every block here blue, but I'm just going to show the color and where it should be. Okay? Right, so we're not going to color hydrogen because hydrogen is not a metal. We're not going to color that blue. As we see here, we'll leave hydrogen white for right now. Obviously, yours will be a lot neater than mine. I'm just going to outline everything here. And we'll get to the specifics of these metals and their groups later on this year. Okay, so now, next one, we have we're going to color the non-metals yellow. So we'll start a carbon here. Just leave it just like that. Might be a few more blocks than supposed to be on this periodic table, but just want to know the general location of our elements. Okay, so it says color the noble gases pink. All right, the noble gases. So we don't have pink here, so we're going to just we'll use a little light red. All right, noble gases are over here. It says color the metalloids green. All right, so those elements I left in the middle are considered our metalloids. So we have boron, silicon, germanium, arsenic, antimony, and tellurium. Right? Some books, right? Some people say polonium could have characteristics of a metalloid, and astatine, we're just going to leave it at those ones right here. And then we have to color these rest ones blue. So we have boron, silicon, germanium, arsenic, and I think I gotta erase something here, antimony, and tellurium. So we should have, this should be yellow, and this should be green. Like I said, it looks like there's an extra row here, but we just want to, and this will be, you don't have to put those elements in. Okay. Yeah, because these elements right here are from right here to here, we're going to, really nothing there, but just want to know the general location of our elements. Now, next part says, draw the stair step to show where metalloids are located on the periodic table with a black crayon. So I'm just going to do it with the black pen. And you see they're along a stair step line. And it says, indicate which direction periods run on the periodic table, right? We said they're horizontal, right? Left to right. And groups are vertical. And this concludes our video on the introduction to the periodic table.